So I'm going to do a series of videos. I'm guessing it's going to be 4 videos of all my tarot decks. I am not going to be doing oracle decks. This will just be my entire tarot deck collection. And I'm going to be dividing it up into 4 videos because my decks are not all in one spot in my house. They are in 4 different places. I live in a small house and it doesn't have a lot of storage, so I've had to make do with storing them. And I don't know how many I have. I will put a list of the decks in each video in the description box, and then I'll count them all up at that point and we'll know how many I have. Tarot's Apprentice asked me if I had any regrets about any decks I had purchased. And the simple answer to that question is no, because every deck I get teaches me something about myself, tarot, what I like, what I don't like. And if I don't like the deck, I simply just get rid of it. I either give it to someone or I sell it or I donate it. I used to have some, for example, I used to have some Thoth decks, and I even bought a book that the Thoth deck creator wrote, Aleister Crowley wrote, to sort of learn a little bit more about that system. And I do not like that system at all. So I've gotten rid of all my Thoth decks. I have a few tarot decks that might slightly have a little bit of Thoth keywords on them or something like that, but they are not Thoth. And it just, if you don't know anything about Thoth, before you start going down that route, I highly recommend you take a look at the Devil card and see if that card resonates with you. It does not resonate with me at all. To me, and this is just my opinion, what the Thoth is the creator's version and interpretation of the Rider-Waite system. And I cannot get into his mindset at all. Some of the cards are very negative, and there's no other way to interpret them but negative. With the Rider-Waite system, it's a very open system. It's very it shows both the shadow and the light side in every card. It just makes more sense, and it doesn't seem to be well as dark as the Thoth deck is. The Thoth deck to me reflects the creator. In fact, a lot of decks reflect the creator, and I immediately get a sense of that creator when I start using the deck, and if I'm turned off, I get rid of the deck. So with that being said, I'm going to start with my first few decks here. Well, it's not a few, but the first place I have decks stored, I had all my Marseille decks in one spot, which is amazing because I'm not an organized person at all. Well, actually, I'm lying. This one was not with them, but I put it with them so they'd all be together for this video. This deck right here is the Spanish Tarot, and I have this deck in my hands almost constantly. When I'm not doing something else, when I'm just on the internet, this deck is in my hand. I love this deck. It is a Marseille style deck, like I said. I love the colors. I love the simplicity of it. I love the Marseille system in general because it's very open to interpretation, and I love that about it. I also love that the Major Arcana and the court cards really stand out from the from like the minors. I also like that when you're looking at a spread, you can see very quickly how many wands you have, how many cups you have, and things like that. So I love this deck. I also love how it feels. This is a very smooth deck. I also like the size, and it shuffles great. This is way, 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 way at the top of my list for decks. The Spanish Tarot. Then I have this one, which is, I just like the colors of this one. I like the pinks and the purples. It's also a small deck. I think this might be, yeah, this is the only deck that I have in a tin. And that is the Tarot de Maria Celia. Very pretty deck. And then I have the CBD Tarot de Marseille. I bought this when I was trying to decide amongst different, where is it? Oh, there it is. Different Marseille decks to get. I don't really get this one out that much though, because the colors are it's kind of flat looking to me. But it's still a real nice deck, and that's the back. It's very basic Marseille deck. So that's this one. Let's see. Will I be able to get it back in there? You know what? I'm going to put it back later. Let's go to the next one. Then this one I got because this was one of the very first tarot decks that ever came out in the United States when tarot was first a thing. And this one is called the 1JJ Swiss Tarot. And this particular one is kind of hard to find. I think it may have gone out of print. But this one that I have is different from some of the ones that you see on eBay. The ones on eBay are the French version. And I got this because it's in English. And I wanted English. So, and I like these kind of old 70s looking kind of backs. I like the size, and it just shuffles real nice. Not real attracted to the artwork, but it is interesting to me because it's just so old. And then the next one that I have is the Tarot Classic. This is an old 70s deck also. And I like the backs of this one have like a, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's kind of got a little bit of, it looks like tan stripes and orange stripes on a white background, but it's actually kind of gold. And it looks like this. Very 70s looking. It looks like sort of like a deck of cards almost would look. So that's my Marseille deck collection. And let's see, get some of this out of the way. The next two decks I'm going to show you are these two decks by John Holland. They're not really tarot decks because they only have, they're a hybrid between a tarot deck and an oracle deck. Well, it calls them oracle decks on here. Because it's only got 65 cards. So I think it's the court cards that are missing and the tens are missing. But the thing I like about these is I'll show you. This is this one. I like the gilding on the edges. I like the backs. And the thing about these is they're oddly accurate. Like if you do a pull using this deck, every time I've had a question and then pulled cards out of this deck, it's always been very accurate. It's very strange in that way. It's a fun deck to use, but it's not the full tarot. It also has some chakra cards in it, which I like. So that's that one. And then this one is very similar to this one, but I actually like this one better. Like if I could only have one, I would get this one. I just like the messages in it better. I like the guidebook better. And this one's gilded. Now, I think they stopped putting the gilding on these. I think they do not. See, there's a chakra card. They don't come, I don't think they come with the gilding anymore. So, and they are kind of like, they do have kind of an older style of art to them. But it's kind of, I don't really jive too much with the artwork. But I like the messages. And like I said, they're real accurate when you ask them a question. I would say, especially if you have a question that doesn't really involve, well, I'll take that back. I was going to say that doesn't involve other people, but that's not true because this one would work for people too. So that's that one. Now, let's see, the next set of decks I'm going to show you. These are decks that I have basically just for fun. Everyday Witch. Because they're very, what's the word I want to use? They're sort of childish looking. I don't know if that's the right word. But they're fun. Like if you're going to do something, do a reading for entertainment purposes or for fun or something, a subject maybe that's not real serious. Although they would work for a serious reading too, but I don't tend to use them because there's too much going on in the image. And I get kind of distracted by that. But that's the Everyday Witch. I have a lot like this though. The guidebooks for these are very well written. Like if you're learning tarot, these types of decks that I'm showing you now are real good for that. The Mermaid Tarot, I don't really like the images in this deck too much. I just don't like the style of the artwork that much. But the messages that I get when I use this deck are really good. I do like the earthy quality of it. I do like the references to the environment. If you are looking for like an environmental type deck, this would be a really good one for that. But again, this style of art just isn't really my thing. But I'm keeping it because I like the messages that it gives. And then, this one. The Anna K. I thought I would like this deck a lot, but I don't know. I might have to try it out sometime. I may have used it in a reading before. It feels kind of dark to me. Maybe it's just the black edges, the black borders. I don't use it. I don't know why I hang on to it, but I hang on to it. And then I have, this is not really a tarot deck either, but It's the moon oracle. But it's interesting to use. It's kind of an astrology deck. These are the backs. But you can get interesting messages from the guidebook. You have to use the guidebook with these to understand what the meanings are. Well, of course. And it's got, I think, 2 or 3 or 4 different types of cards in there. I suppose you could use it. It's got keywords on the cards, but see that? You wouldn't know what that was unless you looked it up in the book. So that was kind of fun to use, just for something different. Just for something different. And then, let's see. And then I have this one. This one's really fun. I would use this more, but again, the artwork is kind of, I don't know. This is the Wizard's Tarot. It's kind of cool. That's the moon. It's a nice card. I might use these some more. I just don't like these fairy tale type images too much, but I could see myself using this in a reading here someday. I like it. But that's the Wizard's Tarot. I think it's not inclusive at all either. That's the other thing I kind of don't like about it. And then there's the Steampunk Tarot. I like this one. This one gives cool messages. This is probably, of all those kind of fantasy type cards, that I like the best. Because I like the images. But I don't use them much on YouTube because, as you can see, the coloring makes the images kind of difficult to see. It's not real easy to see all the detail in the images. I think you miss a lot on YouTube with these, so I tend to shy away from them because of that. Okay, I'm getting close to done with the ones in this storage area. This is the Tarot Apocalypsis. I really like this deck, but I don't use it on YouTube because there's the backs. Because the images are so detailed that you can't tell what's going on in them very easily. They have a lot going on in the images, but I really like these. There's a lot of power in this deck. It's a very empowering deck to me. It's got a lot of masculine energy in it, which I really like. I tend to like more, well, now I flip back and forth. I flip back and forth between more feminine decks and then more masculine decks, but I like this one a lot. Kind of busy though for YouTube videos. And then there's this one, the Medieval Scallopini. I wanted to have at least one deck that I felt that kind of reminded me of Renaissance festivals, and this is it, because it is a pip style deck that is heavily illustrated. See, that's the 2 of Cups. That's the 3 of Cups. And it has humor in it. Some of the figures in here, which you can hardly see because, again, it's very detailed, are doing some very humorous things. So there's humor in it, like here's the Knight of Coins. And what do you notice about this? all you see is the back end of the horse. That's just fantastic. That's a fantastic interpretation of that card. So this is a real funny deck. I love this deck. I should use this one more. The back end of a horse. That would come in very handy in readings. Okay, and then let's see, this one, the Sasuraibito Tarot. This is an indie deck, and I don't ever use it. I've thought about actually getting rid of it, but it's kind of unique. It's got cold edges, but it's very gentle. It's a very gentle deck. Look, there's the King of Cups. Look at that. Sweet old man. The Hierophant. I probably need to use this one more. Seven of Pentacles. It's just got a very feminine, gentle Two of Cups energy to it. I don't think this would work very well in like a political reading. It would be more for like a personal reading. So there's that one. Okay, I'm almost done. I got two more. I think this is just the regular old Radiant Wise Spirit deck. You've probably seen this one. There's the backs. There's fronts. I used to really like this deck, but I don't ever use it. I don't know why. You know what? It does not, for some reason, it does not give me accurate readings, and I don't know why. It just does not want to read for me. It's really, really strange because it's just a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, but it does not give me good readings for some reason. I have not figured out why. Okay. Last one, the Moonchild Tarot. This is a gorgeous deck, but I have not used it much. These are the backs. The sides have a very soft gold gilding to them, which is really, really pretty. I have not used it that much because it's spillovers. Because I actually like the Muse Tarot a little bit better. This one, like, see, that's kind of, there's a lot going on there. Like, too much. I get lost in these cards. It's like it slows down the message. It's like, this is a deck to meditate with, in my opinion, not a deck to read with. This would be a great deck for personal use. So that's all the decks from that section of my house. So I'm going to stop it there, write all these down, and then I'll go on and make another video with the rest of them. Thanks, guys.